Alright, Audi A6 2012 3-liter supercharged oil change. I have already popped off this cover here, which sits right on top of the motor back here, just pops off. For this, we'll need 7.2 quarts of oil. I have my oil extractor. And you will need an oil filter, which I forgot to grab. Alright, so here is our oil filter. You will also need a 36 millimeter socket, or an adjustable wrench would probably do you fine, and a funnel. So I've got that off. First step is we're going to pull the dipstick. Some of these don't have dipsticks. This one actually didn't. I bought the dipstick separate. Just set the camera down for a second. Alright, dipstick out. We take this end. We go right in the dipstick filler tube. Sink this guy down to the bottom. You'll feel it bottom out. Come over to the handy dandy extractor. You can see the oil already starting to come out. That's pretty good. So just sucking the oil out. Alright, so while that's doing its thing, sucking the oil out, I've already got a little bit out. I'm going to loosen up the oil filter cap here, 36 millimeter. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so I loosened that up. Now, this might drip a little bit when it comes out. That's why I got some paper towels right next to it. So I'm going to lift this up slowly. Kind of let it get the oil off of it as much as possible. And bring it up here. Just slide this right out of here. Alright, so we got this out of the car. Here's our new one. And it comes with two new O-ring seal things here. So for this, let me see if I can prop the camera up. Alright, so for this, we basically just kind of slide this right out of there. Oh. It's in there pretty good. Alright, sorry, I needed two hands to get that out. So, we get this one out, and inside here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see in the light I got, there's like this thicker seal is kind of just hanging out in there, and there's these little tabs on it. You can see it on the new one. They stick up, and you can kind of get them with a pair of needle nose pliers. You can just grab onto it and yank it out. And then we're going to put this one back in, and you want to rub some oil on it. You can use some of the residual oil in here. You just want to make sure it's not dry when you put it in. That way it doesn't, no chance of it leaking. So I'm going to go grab some needle nose and pry that out of there. So this is all oiled now. I'm going to keep the tab up. Put it in here, and it just kind of, there's not enough light here, I know that. I'm just going to go ahead and just push it in. It kind of just sits in there. You know, walk your finger around it, make sure it's in there good. Doesn't take much. Just kind of slides right into place. And once that is in there, grab a hold of your new filter. I don't believe there's a top or bottom. Pretty sure it's universal. So just go ahead and push it down till it clicks. It's in there. That's done. And then this little one goes back on the car, and I'm going to show you where that goes in a second. And you also want to make sure that this one is not dry either. That other little seal goes actually on the outside of this thing. It's kind of a little tricky to get. I'm going to use my little hook here. See if I can't latch onto it. Oh, being a little fussy. Bada bing. So this is the old one. We'll just tuck it up here. This is the new one. Remember, lube it up if it's not lubed already. I got a little bit of oil on mine. And you just kind of loop it around. And it should kind of just snap into place like that. Perfect. Done. And then we can take this. I'm going to clean my hand off a little bit. Grab this guy. Put him in the hole. A little bit of pressure to grab the threads. There we go. Finish tightening that with this. Now I don't have a torque spec on this, but it doesn't have to be very tight. There we go, that's good enough. So oil filter's changed. Most of the oil is out of the engine already. You can see this thing stopped sucking. And we've got, what's that, 2, 4, 6, I don't know if this measures in liters. What do we got? That's a little over 5 liters. I'll say quarts on this side. I don't know where it says quarts, but I think there's still a little more oil in there, so I'm going to give it a couple more pumps. Yep, I can watch the oil come right through. Now what I like to do sometimes, you might call me crazy, is I like to actually add a little bit of new oil while it's still sucking the old oil out at the end here. Just to kind of mix up anything that's still at the bottom. Maybe get a little extra crap out of the bottom of the oil pan. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm just going to pour, I don't know, a quarter of a quart in there, just a little something. There, good enough. So now that we got that in there, let it kind of trickle down. Give it a couple more pumps. And just maybe we'll see the oil look a little cleaner coming out of it. And not so much. Now the color coming through now is definitely a lot lighter. It's not totally black, so I know I'm definitely grabbing some of that fresh oil out. Which makes me think I got it all. So we'll let that do it, and I'm going to pour in the oil, 7.2 quarts. Now for oil, I'm using Mobil 1 0W40 full synthetic. These are $22 and change at Walmart for 5 quarts. Real good deal. You can buy 2 of them and then you get some extra. This is a MityVac fluid extractor, something like that. It was under $100. This thing is awesome. You literally don't have to get under the car to do an oil change. You can do the whole thing just standing right here. And it works really good. This is actually what they use in the Audi shops, I believe. Something very similar to this. So, and what's cool is, now that we've got all the oil in here, you can actually flip a switch, and instead of vacuuming, it will actually pump it out. So we can pump it right back into the empty containers and bring it in for disposal. So this is a really cool tool. Highly recommend it. Under $100. Makes any oil change piece of cake. So that's pretty much it. Pull the filter, put the new gaskets on, O-ring, suck out the oil, fill it back up. Alright, so now we get all this oil in here. I'm going to show you how to get it back in here really easily. It's on vacuum right now. If we flip this switch up, now it's on pump mode, or evacuate mode, I believe they call it. So I'm just going to tuck this in here, and let's start pumping. Now the only thing with this is we've got about 7 quarts in here, and these jugs only hold 5, so you got to keep an eye on it. When it gets close to the top, we got to flip it back into vacuum mode, which actually takes a couple seconds for it to bleed off all that pressure. So you want to catch it right before it gets full. If you wait too long, it's going to overfill. So can't really see what it's doing yet. Now another thing too is the oil's had a chance to cool down a little bit, so it takes a little bit longer to move through this little tube. So this could take a few minutes, but really easy. You know, you don't have to get your hands dirty. Not really a chance of spilling it anywhere. Definitely recommend this thing.